out of nowhere, I remembered his dad ran up, like a full-grown adult dad, like same age as my dad. He ran up, and this dad just grabbed me by the collar, and he just started socking me in my face.
Whoa!
What? Yeah. And he kept going, "Why'd you hit him? Why'd you hit him?" And he just kept fucking me up in my face. And then my dad ran over, and my dad got in a fight with that guy.
Oh shit!
Welcome back to another splendid episode of The Careful Boys. We have with us today, we got Cris Sosa here today.
Oh, Cris Sosa!
Yo, yo. And then we have the rest of the usual boring ass people.
Hey man, fuck you, dude.
Seeing.
Boring, fuck you, man.
I got a question today. I wanted to know from you guys, this is genuinely I would like to know. When was the first time you got your ass kicked? Like you got in a fight, you got your ass kicked?
Does parents count?
No, it doesn't count. That shit happens all the time.
Like in a fight.
In a real fight.
I have mine is really vivid. Mine was when I was, I think, okay, I was in first grade, and this is the part that kind of sucks. I'm friends with this kid's older brother, and this kid's little brother whooped my ass. So I don't even remember his name. This guy could have just been like some big ass fucking kindergartner or some shit. But I used to live in like in one of those neighborhoods where it's like, so if you're familiar with like Cerritos or like Cypress or whatever, it'll be like, here's the entrance to the neighborhood, and it'll have like a name like the Mayflower or some shit, right? And then you go in, and then neighborhoods like fucking all these streets and stuff. So like everyone in that neighborhood all hung out. And I don't even remember what happened, but I remember me and the kid's little brother, his older brother wasn't even there, it's just me and him, got into an argument, and he kicked me in the mouth. And my fucking lips just exploded, and I was just bleeding all over the place, and I don't even know how to fight, and I don't even know what fighting was. I don't even know how to return violence or anything like that. And he just fucking took all the YMCA karate skills, and he just kept roundhousing me in the face over and over and over and over. Yeah, like he was
like Van Damme against Chong Li.
Fucking like one, and then fucking looking at me and shit, cause I'm so stunned, I'm not even moving, and he's like, two. It just keeps turning around like this.
Bro, you didn't even have instincts to go, I should move.
I was so shocked. I was just like, boom, and I'm like, what the boom, and I'm like, what the it was just over and over and over. Yeah, and then I went home, I ran home, I was like crying, because I couldn't even believe like my friend would hurt me like that. And that was the first fight I ever had.
Wow, dude.
That's not a fight.
Sucks.
So that's like a.
You got your ass kicked, yeah.
You got jumped. Well, yeah. I mean, that is the first time you got your ass kicked.
I just, yeah. I mean, it's Nick's record, you know. So,
hey, at least I threw a punch back. Jesus Christ.
0-1, dude.
I threw back. You know what I mean? But I was also 21. I wasn't 11. You know? Hey,
by that time, my instincts developed.
You guys made the same amount of revenue from your fights, though. Shut up, dude. Hold me back, dude. Hold me back.
Yeah, we got you. We got you.
In the face, bro.
I had a TKO fight that I lost, but it was an amateur fight. And this kid.
Why'd you look at me when you said that?
Actually,
you've been boxing since you were like 8 or something, right?
You say what?
You've been boxing since you were like 8 years old.
Yeah. So it was one. I think it was like 11 or 12. But this kid is this is also my first time fighting like a true like Mexican fighter where they're all body shots, all hooks. I'm on top. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, maybe a hook every now and then, but we're just going here, you know. And I've never felt a body punch before. This is my first time like getting it, like hit it. Oh my gosh, like the air. I didn't even know what that was.
How old are you?
I was like 10, 11, like 10, 11, 12 in that area. But this was also like I've won my fights up until this moment. I'm chilling. I remember getting my hands wrapped and I'm like eating sour straws, like just like kicking it, like we're gonna run this real quick, you know. Yeah. And I got hit, yo, and I remember like sinking, and the ref saw it, so it was enough to where he made it an 8 count. And I was so like scared. I'm like, I'm getting an 8 count right now? Like, what? Like, it was a whole
body shot,
huh? Body shot, and I couldn't really breathe, and and my dad's over here just like, breathe, breathe. I'm just like, what is happening, yo? And I remember whenever they said like, you know, box, they let me keep going, he just kept going again. Boosh, the body, and oh my gosh, yo, they called it, yo. I lost off of a TKO, and he's still a professional boxer actually. He fought recently on the undercard of There was a big fight like 2 Saturdays ago, but his name is
With Andy on the Andy Ruiz card?
Yes, yeah.
Oh wow.
He was the co main event.
Wow.
Miguel Flores. Yeah. And there was a draw. That one was a draw. But that's my guy. He's from Houston. And I always like give him shit for that one because I'm just like motherfucker. Like he got me.
When I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
Dude, no. They stopped fights, like kid fights earlier.
Oh, you say what?
They stopped the kid fights earlier. Like let's say like, oh, the kid's hurt, so like let's just stop it. Like,
knockout, right?
Yeah, no, like they get.
They need blood.
I don't know. I got stopped. I think it was the 3rd round. It was the 2nd or 3rd round. But yeah, he got me.
Have you been in a fight before, like, or just like when you were young?
I've never been in a street fight.
Oh yeah, like
I've never been in a fight outside the
school
ring.
or nothing. Oh
Ever.
wow.
you never go up, man. I've fucking been waiting to unleash these motherfuckers.
Nah, man.
I've heard that from so many boxers.
Yeah.
Like even Brandon Lee,
I've
he
been
was
in a
like, I
push
never fought.
tussle, but that was just like get separated and stuff like that. And even then, that was in elementary school.
This is gonna sound like bullshit, but I honestly have the same fucking story, and I have the same. I never fought outside the ring, but my first fight was inside a ring, boxing, because my uncles owned this. Fighting company called Satellite Boxing in Arlington, Virginia. And so my dad took me there because my dad was the general manager of it, right? So they were all working on it together. And we actually had this guy, he was a really good fighter named Keith Holmes. He was like really coming up at the time, and he was like winning all kinds of shit. So like I got to meet him and hang out with him and shit. It was really cool. But it was my cousin Frankie's birthday party, and so we all went to Satellite Boxing, and like they had like a ref, and like they had all the kids like get weighed up and shit. And then we didn't actually weigh in. They just were like, hey, who wants to who's what weight? And I didn't fucking know what weight I was.
Have you been training, or it's just random?
I hadn't been training or anything like that, but I was around Keith a lot, like, because he would just come in all the time and like hang out with my uncles and my dad and stuff. And so I would, and my uncles all watched boxing every fucking weekend with my dad, right? So I watched all that shit, and we watched Tyson a lot. And so I remember getting in the ring, and they're basically like, who weighs what? And I fucked up. I was just like, I weigh that, and then they put me against like the biggest fucking kid. Oh shit. Yeah, and I fucked up with that for sure. And then they, we have the pads on and shit, and then I have the boxing gloves. And same as you, my first time getting punched was like to the gut, and I was like, gah, like lost my breath immediately. And then it's just survival after that, like, oh fuck. Like but I was mad at him after that. And so I'm like punching, but I don't fucking know how to punch or anything like that. I'm like 8 years old. And it was just that. It was just pure, like, I'm gonna get you until I hope they fucking call it already. Please call it already. Yeah. And that was it. That was my first fight, and that was my only real fight.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I've always just been good about calling it, reading the situation that I can, like, I'll just get out of it. I don't look for it. I don't try to, you know what I mean? That's not my style. I know that I can defend myself, but at the same time, if somebody's like trying to get rowdy, they trying to come, I'm out, you know what I mean?
See, I have the same skill as you. I've never been in a fight outside of anything. I can also read shit, but the difference is I can't defend myself. So that's why I have to read it. Maybe I can't.
But you could move yourself out of the way to try to punch the face. Like, whoa.
You guys never.
I got instincts, Bart. It's called instincts. You know what I mean?
You guys never just been jumped by bullies? Like,
I've never been jumped by bullies.
like I thought that was normal, where like you're just like eating lunch or something, and then someone comes up and just punches you in the face or your stomach or whatever, or like, and then you get them back or whatever. No. That never happened.
I've also only been in like push scuffles that
scuffles
maybe was about to escalate, but then like either de-escalated or some shit like that.
What about like in like the like schools where like two people walk by, they bump shoulders, right? And then when they bump shoulders and turn around, all of a sudden both sides of the hallway is staring, and you have to throw it down.
But you already know, Bart, every time I bump shoulder, they turn around, it's like,
out of here, moonwalked out of it.
This guy's good. Whoa.
Yo!
I was like, I'm a fan!
One of my earliest memories is when I was 4, and that's the first time I got like beat up, and it was the weirdest situation. And I think my dad was there, and he'd probably be so surprised I even remember this. But there was a store called Fedco. It was over in Cerritos.
I know Fedco.
And it was kind of like a...
It was at South and Gridley, actually.
Yeah, it was at South and Gridley. And then not a lot of people remember that across from there was a Fedco furniture store as well. And the furniture store was basically the same store, but it was all like couches and shit.
And it turned into Ethan Allen.
Yeah, a lot of tragedies have gone down on that property.
The dangerous street, man.
Harder. Me and my sister were in there, and we were like playing like on the, you know when you're a kid, you play on the beds and shit. And then we were just like jumping around, and this other kid came up, and he was smaller than me, and he kept trying to get on the bed, but I kept pushing him down. And then out of nowhere, I remembered his dad ran up, like a full-grown adult dad, like same age as my dad. He ran up, and this dad just grabbed me by the collar, and he just started socking me in my face.
Whoa!
What? Yeah. And he kept going, "Why'd you hit him? Why'd you hit him?" And he just kept fucking me up in my face. And then my dad ran over, and my dad got in a fight with that guy.
Oh shit!
Yeah. And it was like this weird ass situation. And then I remember I didn't understand anything about it, and I was like, I remember asking my dad, like, was that like the bad guy?
Oh shit.
Because I couldn't tell, like.
How old were you?
4 years old.
Like he just seemed like a bad guy from the movie.
I just remember I wasn't in school yet. Yeah, I wasn't in kindergarten yet, so I remember I was 4.
Getting socked by a man as a kid is crazy.
He looked like Charles Bronson, you know, like one of those guys. Yeah. And then I remember the conversation after him and my dad stopped fighting. My dad was like, what were you thinking? Like he was asking the guy, and the guy was like, oh, I was just trying to stop him. I was just trying to stop him. I just remember those words exactly. The guy was saying that he was just trying to stop me, but I distinctly remember like being held like.
Did that mess you up as a kid?
Damn.
It didn't because
Think about it now, like as an adult.
Too early.
Did you
Because
feel
I
like
didn't
your
process.
dad was a big hero? Like he fought.
You know what? It's so early that it didn't even it computed
a
as
bunch of times before his dad came. It's like,
Yeah. He was just dazed still. He had the fucking birds and shit and the stars.
It was just like weird, like understandable data in my brain. I was just like, okay, this happened. The dad punched me, and like I'd never been punched, but then I realized that like. All I remember thinking was like, we're the good guys, right? And that's the bad guy.
Yeah.
I just remember like asking my dad that, and then it was really awkward.
I have a funny story in 4th grade because it was like so ironic. So I was at this like after school like tutoring place. It's kind of like a daycare, but you like work on homework and shit. And then I'm waiting for my mom to get picked up. There's a kid that was like sitting on a chair because they have a movie that they rolled out, so all the kids are just watching movies while the parents come. The kid left, and then so I go sit down, and then the kid comes back like 30 minutes later, and he goes, "Hey, that was like my seat." And I'm like, "No, you left." You know, that was just like the rule back then. If you leave, then it's open for whatever, right? So I sit there, so I guess that kid gets all fucking pissed or whatever. Later on, I found out my mom's car is outside, so I go to the back to get my backpack. And when I'm getting my backpack like this, I just feel a leg come up and fucking hit me in my fucking balls from the back. And I don't know what happened. Maybe I was like, my balls were too high or some shit at that time.
No, they were kicked in you.
But it didn't even affect me. I turn around and I'm like, what the fuck? It's that kid's older sister. So
Wait, the same one from your last story?
No.
It's a kicking family.
So it's that kid's older sister.
It's like one of the masters.
My immediate reaction is to kick her in the chest. So I go, boom, I fucking kick her in the chest. And then this is like, you know, like the martial arts warm-ups. It's like you kick, right? And then you kick, and you kick. So I just walked her ass fucking down, kicking her in the chest. Like fucking like 5 times, back to back to back to back.
Left boob, right boob, left boob, right boob.
She falls down, she's like all crying and shit. The teacher is like, here's the commotion. What the hell's going on? And then like, oh, she's beating up my sister and I'm like, Bart, go sit over there. And then so she's waiting, she sits me down. I'm on the stairs, like at the bottom stair like this. And then she pulls my mom in, wants to like tell my mom what happens. That girl's boyfriend finds out that I kicked her. So he comes up to me.
You kicked her more than once.
More than once. He comes up to me and he goes, what the fuck? So he tries to kick me in the nuts, but since I'm sitting on the stairs, he kicks the fucking stairs. He goes, oh shit! And I'm just like, what the? Is this like a fucking nut kicking movie? Everyone's just fucking kicking nuts all over the fucking place. What is this? Yeah, dude. It was.
How come you never told this story?
I wonder if he would have kicked you in the face, he would have been like, what? And then kept kicking you again. What?
He didn't know your fucking your weakness.
Yo, that is so to be like doing this marching band kick against a girl.
Earliest memories of a hard fucking beatdown was there's these two neighbor brothers in the cul-de-sac with me, Marcos and Frankie, right? We're like maybe first grade or some shit like that. The older brother was my friend. For some reason he wasn't there and I was playing with Frankie. And we were inside the living room. We were playing Ninja Turtles. And we're fighting over one of them, like Leonardo or whatever. And then so we get into like a fucking pool fight, all that shit. And then like he grabs the Ninja Turtle fucking van, slams it over me, fucking starts kicking me, right? Yeah, I'm getting fucked up. I'm like, no. And then like, and I'm like crying and shit. And I'm so fucking sad. And then like his mom's like, what the fuck? And then afterwards, like, I can't take it anymore. So I turn over and I started fucking back fisting his head like that. And then his mom just tells Marcos, right? So then he's my friend. And I thought like everything was chill because like it's chill now, right? So I'm on my bicycle. I'm like going up and down the street. And then he's like, hey, Joe. And I'm like, hey. And then he comes up to me. And I think he's just going to talk to me. And he just starts fucking wailing on me. I fall off of my bicycle. And he's just kicking the shit out of me. And the way he fought me versus his little brother, it was like a real fucking beatdown. And I'm just like, we're supposed to be friends. And I didn't get like, hey, that shit was between me and your little brother. Why are you doing this to me now? And then I'm like, we're supposed to be friends. And then after that, I just went home like on my bicycle and I was like crying and shit. And I'm like, I don't think we're friends anymore. And then next week we were all playing again.
That's how guys do.
Yeah. Did you see the turtle van after that and kind of think of it differently?
I wanted a turtle van so bad, dude. I still want it till this day.
Every kid wanted that turtle van.
It just came out of nowhere and just started banging on you with it?
I forgot like how we started to like fight, but I remember at the end I was on the ground and he fucking threw the turtle van on top of me. And I was like crying like, no. And then like when we were sat down and shit, and I was like, I couldn't take it anymore because I felt like such a bitch. I turned around and just started fucking backfisting his head like that.
Was it a metaphor for how you guys were fighting over Ninja Turtles that you got beat up with the turtle van?
I think it was just poetic.
Yeah.
I think I told the story before on here, but I recall me getting my ass beat now. It was when
Say that story again. I'm gonna go over there and whoop your ass, bro. No, I'm saying. I'm just kidding.
I just met you, Chris.
I'm sorry.
Don't jump in on these fools' low-level jokes.
I was like, you know
You're
what?
on the right start. You're on the right start.
You were his only hope, man.
I know, dude. You can't be doing that. You're already one of the fucking levels on Game of Death for me, dog. Get out.
Oh shit, you're right, bro.
All right.
You're on track to be the next host. You're on track. Marcos, this is great. Give this guy a raise.
Remote, I'm trying to get a job here.
You can always work at FedEx.
Hey, all right, I'll take that.
All right, so I remember being on in elementary school and I was on the field, and I told this story. It's so dumb. I had just learned the F word, that rhymes with maggot.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I just learned it. You know when you just learn something, you just want to use it. You don't know what it means.
And yeah.
I learned the sound. I didn't even learn the meaning.
Feels good when you say it too, right?
Some people might say it's a great word. Some people might
Some
say
have
And
said
you just
some.
say it the way you heard it, the intonation as well.
It's a solid combination of letters.
Congratulations.
And then, in terms of combination, there was also this time frame where there was this rule going around, this epidemic, right? Where when the bell rings, you freeze. You can't move. Otherwise, you get written up with a citation with them safeties that have like orange vests and shit, right? On the playground. At recess, when the bell rings, you have to fucking freeze. You drop your ball and shit like that. You can't pick it up. You know what I'm talking about?
Just like stop playing. So
Everybody
you
has to
file
fucking freeze, right?
Yeah.
Well, so right before the end of recess, I looked at this one kid who like did something or said something. I call him a stupid F word, right? And the bell rang. So I thought it was safe.
You had to freeze.
So you said it in mid.
So I said it right before the bell rang. I was like, haha, you can't get me, right? But then he started walking towards me. Cause he's like, what'd you say?
Do that?
And I was looking at him and in my mind I was like, you're supposed to freeze.
You're still frozen? Are you
Still frozen.
You're like, wait.
Hey, bell rung.
And I stayed, I'm a man of honor, so I stayed frozen the whole time. And he walked over and he literally took me and he threw me on the floor.
Oh my god.
And so I was just like crying and shit. Like,
Frozen?
still crying. And that's when I learned that you can't just call people that. Who would have known?
You didn't know it was an insult?
No.
You thought it was a cool word?
You just hear shit as a kid. You want to use it.
I used to say the N-word all the time because when, you know, my friends, I was like, what, first, second grade, I learned it then. All my, you know, half of my classmates were black. I thought it meant friend. Because
everyone uses it. Like,
they use like, and kids learn words through context, not by the dictionary, right? Yeah. So then, like one day, they used to sing this song. It was like a nursery rhyme or like a bad nursery rhyme where it was like, have you heard of this? A fight, a black and a white. The end had a gun, so the white had to run.
No, I never heard that.
We used to say
a nursery rhyme for
Wow. Do you say this?
So sweet, so sweet.
We had these crazy ones at our elementary school, and then there used to be another one that was like,
there's more.
Your mama something, she hit the pole, and then her titty rolled. It was like some shit like, I don't know. It was like
That one sounds cool.
It was funny.
The Spanish one.
But anyways, I was singing that song with my friends, right? We were waiting in line to buy snacks from the snack lady. And then so, we were like, I was the only Asian kid, but I was singing it. And then the lunch lady was like, Joseph, go back to the end of the line. And I was like, oh, fuck, what did I do? And I was always getting in trouble at this time, so I was like, I don't know what I did, man. And then so when I got back to the front,
Just not even trying
something. Like, I did something.
Investigating your own crime. And
you're like, they're like, you're in big trouble. And I'm like, what? I just want to buy snacks, you know? And then like, they were trying to explain to me the significance of the word and all that, and I'm like, I don't fucking understand. And the other thing is, my black friends were singing it, but they didn't say anything to them. You know, so I was just like, why? I don't understand what the fuck, what did I do wrong here? And then the kids still said that word to each other and shit. So I was just like,
all my N-words say the N-word.
yeah, it was, dude, I think it's such a hard word for kids to understand.
Yeah.
Especially like in third or fourth
grow
grade.
up around it, yeah.
So much fucking history attached to it.
And you don't know like the real meaning because of the way that it's used with your friends, and then the way that they're talking about it. So I'm just like this fucking, and I didn't even know what race really was at that age. You know, like you think everybody's kind of like the same group, right? Yeah. So then like it was such a weird experience. I remember saying, and I remember I got beat up because I would use that word, and then like people would just like fight me. And I still didn't know what it was, and I'm like, maybe I should stop using it. That never came into my mind. It's just I'm still using it like an idiot, you know? Yeah.
I had a shorty I dated that threw blows at me for sure, and it was one of those fetal positions. You gotta just take it, right? You're a good man, dude. Yeah, you know, saying it was one of those situations. Classic domestic violence, but I was in it. And
so the only street fight you've been in was when a girl was beating your ass up.
Yeah, she was throwing blows and stuff, and we were dating, so like I actually was like training her how to box and shit. So I remember like looking at her back foot, like, oh shit, she's using the back foot. I was like, that's pretty good, you know what I'm saying?
It's great technique.
Yeah. She was
your
using
hips.
it. Yeah, I was kind of giving her advice, like, put the weight on your back foot. Yeah.
Follow through.
Yeah.
What was making her want to beat your ass like that?
Oh man, it was a drunk night. It was actually a night where it was I was performing this night, and it was one of those like. She would go to all of my shows and stuff. She would support me and stuff, but she was just getting out of work. She didn't really want to go to the show, but she's like, I'm gonna go. We were already like bickering earlier that day, so she was already upset. Yeah. So I just remembered like, this was just one of those shows, it was in East LA, Little Hole in the Wall, a bar show. I'm trying to like her, she likes Ludacris, so like I'm trying to lighten up the mood on the way there, jamming some old school Ludacris and just, you know, we're good, everything's cool. After my performance, it was cool, and she's like, she saw on the menu like there's like chalkboard like how the drinks and stuff. They saw Adios motherfucker, and I don't know if y'all heard of Adios motherfucker.
Yeah.
But it has, for those who don't know, it has 4 different vodkas in it.
Right. Shit,
It's very well designed.
Yeah, she got an Adios motherfucker, and Adios, that motherfucker went. Cause after that, yo, I remember before buying it, I would go like, yo, we're not gonna like trip tonight, right? We're not gonna get back. This is like kind of like a pattern.
Don't worry about it.
This is kind of a pattern. Yeah. So yeah, I just remember like, man, oh my God, after the show, I was talking to the producer and she was ready to go, but I was like talking about more shows and stuff like that, and she was waiting for me outside. That was her thing. She was pissed that
she had gloves on.
She was waiting outside. Yeah, yo, she was like punching the bricks and shit. Came outside and she was just like, why the fuck did you not come for me and give me outside? That type of thing. She was like in my face, and I was like, in the car, it's all good, you know what I'm saying?
Man, I hope she was fine, bro.
Oh, bro, I mean, yeah, she was like, you know, she's a cutie.
You're dealing with this for a reason.
Yeah, but man, when we got home, yo, this was already like, we've already talked about, like, yo, we're gonna de-escalate, like, if this is a situation, de-escalate it. I'm gonna sleep in the other type. We had a 2-bedroom, and so I slept in the other room. She did not like that shit. She was like coming, like jiggling the door and shit. I remember, yo, there's like she like
survival horror.
I remember her walking away, and I'm kind of just like, all right, she's gonna like go to sleep. But I'm hearing in the kitchen, like opening the drawer and like jiggling and like getting
the knives.
So she had got a knife. This I know she was hella drunk too, cause she tried to like oh my God, open the door like through the.
Oh, she tried to jimmy the fucking.
Yeah. And we had those old school doors, like a butter knife. You could just go like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I knew she was just out of it, bro. Like I was just like, hey yo, put the knife up. You know what I'm saying? I'll open the door if I hear we had wood floors. I was like, drop the knife, then I'll open the door just so I can like, I'm about to get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I opened the door, she's all in my face and shit, and I'm just like, yo, I'm a dip. I'm gonna go to my cousin's crib. Getting all shaky now.
Shit. That sounds like a nightmare.
It's one of those situations. Yeah. So I was getting my things and stuff like that, getting ready to get out of there. But yeah, she was blocking the door, blocking it out the way, and then I was just trying to get out of there. That's when she finally like blacked out. She knew I was gonna leave. She pushed me, and then I like kind of like stumbled like onto the bed, and she just started like going off. And I'm just eating them up. And then that's when like I looked like when she was done. I looked at her, she knew she fucked up too. I'm like, all right, I'm out of here, you know what I'm saying? And I remember she was, oh my gosh, she was so like, I have my little chihuahua, I had a little doggy, and I'm like,
both you guys are shivering and shit?
Yo. I was getting my things, but I also went and got my dog too, because I'm dipping, but I got my dog, because I was like, I don't know how mad that she is.
Yeah.
She was like mocking, oh, you're gonna get your dog? You get your dog? I was like, you're me, yo. Like, yo, what an asshole. Oh, dude, I remember fucking like being in my car. I drove like I didn't even like at first I didn't even go to anywhere yet. I just drove like a couple blocks down and was just in my car like, what the fuck just happened? I was like, oh, that's
crazy. She punching your head?
You said what?
She's punching your head?
She was just wailing. She was just like, just kind of like, just mad. Just of like everything, just just like started going on.
Don't create bits of your loved ones. You know? Like this is what happens.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. Yeah, it was.
He did a whole stand-up bit about how she can't decide what to eat.
Yeah.